I tell you what, I've found, my first day of working in that research and development laboratory, one guy pulls me to the side. He said, "Hey, look, I want to take care of you while you're here. I'm going to point out a couple of people that you should definitely steer away from. And that lady over there in charge of the lab, you got to watch out for her. She's a backstabber." And I said, "Oh, okay." He takes me out to lunch to say that. The end of the day, my lab manager comes to me, the lady he was talking about, comes to me, "Hey, look, let me take you to the side. Let me help you out here. There's a guy over there. He works in the other department. He's a backstabber. He's going to do whatever he can to mess with you. You stick with me." At that moment, my first day on the job ever, this is back in Chicago, I realized that there might not be just one person that I want to lay all my, put all my eggs in one basket, right? And I've really found that listening to everybody and getting everybody's perspective, no matter who they are, has been incredibly valuable in making decisions. Because I remember listening to the board, and even there was Larry on one side and George and Vilma on the other side, and they would, a lot of times when the conversation would get to student achievement, they would start saying the same things. And you would start just for a second, to start to hear some similarities come out from both sides. And then as soon as people would realize who was saying it on the other side, they would stop listening and start to discount what other people were saying. And it always drove me crazy. And even during that time, I had a school board fellowship where for a year I was assigned to a school board member that I had to follow around and take notes about and work with. And I was assigned to Kay McGarry during this whole year. And every time I would meet with her for coffee, and I would sit across from Red Starbucks, and I would say, "Look, these are the places where I really feel like we're missing the boat. I don't feel like you're actually speaking to the community here or there. These are the places where I feel like where folks are saying a lot of great things, and we're not gathering momentum. We had a lot of passionate conversations. And at the same time, I'll sit and have conversations with Brother Koja when he was working at JT and now with the NAACP. I really want to listen to every single person. When we're on the campaign trail, I listen to what Tim Morgan is saying. I listen to what Elise Deshu is saying. I listen to what Erica Ellis Stewart is saying. I listen to every single one of those candidates. I listen to Dr. Plotzinator because he's talking about what he's experiencing over at West Mac. I listen to Mary McCrae because she understands really what teachers are talking about in a different way than a lot of other folks are. And I think if we at any time shut out any person in our community and say that their opinion or their experience or perspective is not worth listening to, we're going to get exactly what happened just a few short months ago, where when we don't listen to everybody, people are going to tell us that we're not listening to them. And I think we need to be able to provide that feedback to everyone. We need to have that conversation, but we need to be open to listening to everybody's experience. And I'm not in a place where I could say, there's one person I'm going to listen to and I'm not going to follow everybody else, because I really want to be that person that listens to everybody.
Okay. I was trying to get to that point. What I was hearing you say is not one person that you're going to listen to. You're going to listen to everybody, but you didn't tell me how you're going to secure that 4 votes. Very quickly, please.
At the end of the day, our mission is student achievement. And every decision that I make is based on whether it's going to be best for kids. Sure. The choice has to be, is this going to be best for kids, or is it going to somehow impact teachers in a way that's going to be best for kids? That has to be how I hold other people accountable in their conversations, and other people hold me accountable in our conversations. When we were running in District 3 in 2009, the conversations started to go about how young you could be in order to be tracked into a vocational program. And people said, in 6th grade, I want to be able to track someone who's not reading into a vocational program. And I got up there and I said, look, we have to figure out what we did from K through 5 to have that kid not reading in 6th grade before we track them in a vocational program. When we started to shift that dialogue, everybody else's campaign speech shifted down the exact same aisle. And what I think that comes to is when we start holding ourselves accountable to kids, everybody else either holds themselves accountable to kids or they look foolish. And I think at the end of the day, it's not about making people look foolish. I don't mean to say that. But it's about really ensuring that when we bring this passion and when we bring this conversation, people jump on board. And it's just how it's been for the last 10 years.